Good morning, students. It is our second lecture of class 10th Information Technology, and in this lecture we will discuss about networking fundamentals. So, what is network? A computer network is a collection of computers and other hardware components interconnected by communication channel, and communication channel will be cables or satellite that allow sharing of resources and information. So basically computer network is used to share resources and information among computers which are present at different parts of a world, or within a compound, within a block, within a city, or within a country. So a computer network is a collection of computer and hardware components interconnected by communication channel. It means it require a communication channel to communicate, and communication channel will be wired such as cable or wireless such as satellite, and such type of communication allow sharing of resources and information. In this manner, a computer that is not connected to a network is known as stand-alone computer, and the computer which is connected to a network is known as workstation or a node or a host. If everything is going on smoothly, then what is the need of networking? The basic need of networking is to break the barriers of distance and time and cost, because networking allow us to break the barriers of distance and cost and time. Now our next term is computer architecture, or we can say that network architecture. What is network architecture? Network architecture is a design of computer network, or we can say that it is a framework, a specification of network physical component and their functional, organizational and configuration. In the network architecture, we will discuss about the operational principles, procedures, as well as communication protocol which are used while performing or while making a network. What are protocol? Protocol are generally set of rules and regulations which are required to connect to a network. For example, if you want to connect to a network, then it require a network password, it require a network protocol and many other things to connect to a network. So such type of protocol, such type of set of rules and regulations which are required to connect to a network is termed as protocol. Basically, there are two types of network architecture. One is peer-to-peer, also known as P2P, and other is client-server network architecture. What is peer-to-peer network architecture? Network in which all computers have an equal status are called peer-to-peer network. Generally, in such a network, each terminal has an equally competent CPU. It means if in a network the computers which are connected are having equal powers in terms of their resources, in terms of their working, in terms of their capabilities, then the network is known as peer-to-peer network, or we can say that then the network is having peer-to-peer networking architecture. Let us understand this with the help of diagram. In peer-to-peer, all the systems, or we can say that all the nodes are connected with each other, and all the nodes are of equal capacity, or we can say that the capability of each node is equal. They are equal in terms of their sharing power, in terms of their resources, in terms of their software, in terms of their hardware. The second network architecture is client server network architecture. Network in which certain computers have special dedicated tasks providing services to other computers are called client server network architecture. The computer which provides services are called servers, and the ones that uses these services are called client. In client server network architecture, there are certain computers which are having more capability than other computers. They are providing their services to those computers which are having less capability, and the computer having less capability enjoy the services provided by a server computer. So it means it simply have a server at the middle, and all the other systems and nodes are attached to that server to enjoy the facility provided by the server. The diagram of this client server architecture is as follows. In this, there is a basic server at the middle and all the clients are attached to this server, and this server provide all the facility to the client, and client enjoy the services provided to them by the server. Now our next topic is types of network. There are two major types of network. First is LAN and other one is WAN. So LAN stands for local area network. It is used to connect computer and devices within a small geographical area such as home, school, etc. So LAN is basically used to connect computers within a small geographical area, and the arrangement of computer system within a geographical area is termed as topology. So basically we can say that in LAN the topology of computers is restricted within a small area, while WAN, the range of WAN, or we can say that the range of wide area network is across international boundaries, or we can say that it will work across national boundaries. For example, internet is the biggest example of WAN, or we can say that internet is the biggest WAN till now available to us. Now we will discuss about some basic terms. Internet is a global system of interconnected computers that use the standard internet protocol suite to serve billions of users worldwide. It is a network of network that consists of millions of private, public, academic, business and government networks. So basically we can say that internet is a computer based worldwide information network which is composed of large number of or a smaller number of interconnected network within itself. It have many types of large network and many types of small network within itself. It is an example of wide area network WAN. The internet has made it possible for people all over the world to effectively and inexpensively communicate with each other. So inexpensive communication and effective communication is provided by the internet to the users all over the world. Or we can say that the internet is the largest encyclopedia for all age groups. If you require any information, you can directly search that information on the internet and you can get desired result from the internet. The internet also helps in maintaining contact with friend, relative who live in other locations, or we can say that who live in different locations across different countries. You can communicate with them via internet chatting or via email or via video conferencing. So all the facilities are provided to us by internet. Our next term is World Wide Web. World Wide Web, abbreviated as WWW or W3, commonly known as the web, is a system of interlinked hypertext document accessed via the internet. It means World Wide Web contains set of program, standard and protocol that allow the multimedia and hypertext file to be created, displayed and linked on the internet. It means it provides us facility to share different type of multimedia file, hypertext file, messages in the form of web pages, in the form of website which we can view on the internet. Web browser. A web browser is a software used to view website and act as an interface between user and the World Wide Web. It means if you want to use the facilities provided to us by World Wide Web, then you require a software on your computer system, and this software is known as web browser. What is web server? A web server is a computer that stores website and their related files for viewing on the internet. The files which you want to view on the internet requires a place to be stored on the internet, and this place is provided to them by the web server. Now our next topic is uses of network. What is the use of network? We will use network for data sharing. We can share data like text file, document, audio and video file to other user with the help of networking. For hardware sharing, you can also share hardware with the help of network. For example, if you put a printer on a network and you will connect 4 or 5 computers to the same network, then you will be able to give the command from these 4 or 5 computer systems to the printer to print. So it also allows us to share hardware. Internet access sharing, for example, you are buying internet from some place or you are buying internet from any company, then with the help of networking you can access the internet which you bought from those companies on all the systems. Uses of network based applications, there are many uses of with network based applications such as video calling, audio calling, chat applications, etc. are the uses of network based application. It means we use network based applications to perform audio calling, video calling and many other things on internet. Now our next topic is getting access to the internet. To use internet, two things are basically required. One is ISP, it means internet service provider. Internet service provider is an organization which provide us access to the internet. For example, it is basically the company from which you are buying internet such as BSNL, Airtel, Reliance, MTNL, etc. The second one is a physical device or a hardware device which is termed as modem, which convert analog signal to digital signals and digital signals to analog signals. So it also act as a modulator or demodulator because it convert the digital signal which was on the lines, or we can say that which was coming from the satellite, to analog signal to display on our computer screen. And it can also convert analog signal which we send to the digital signal so that it can go to the satellite and we can send them to some other place. Types of internet connectivity, as we discussed previously, that there are basically two types of internet connectivity. One is wired, in which we will use cables to connect to the internet, and other one is wireless, such as Wi-Fi, 3G, WiMAX, in which there is no need of physical cable to connect to the internet. So wired technology contains three things in itself. First is dial-up. Dial-up, it uses and facilitates of the public switched telephone network PSTN to establish an internet connection via telephone line using a device called modem. Users dial a number and get access to a internet. Dial-up connections are extremely slow. It was basically used previously when we get internet via telephone lines. The telephone company provides us a number which we have to dial before connecting to the internet. After dialing that number, we will connect to the internet and use internet in our computer with the help of modem, which is used to modulate and demodulate the signal provided to us by the telephone company. The next one is DSL, digital subscriber line. Provide internet connectivity by transmitting digital data over the wires of local telephone network. It enables the use of telephone and data transmission on a single telephone line. For using DSL connection, we need a DSL modem and a subscription. So this DSL basically stands for digital subscriber line, and it is used to transmit digital data over the wires, and wires might be of any telephone line or any cable network, etc. So if we are capable of sending data through these lines, then the term is used for them is DSL, digital subscriber line. The speed of internet which we will get via DSL is little more higher than dial-up connections. The next one is cable internet access. Cable internet access is a form of broadband internet access that uses the cable TV infrastructure. It means it uses cable TV architecture to provide internet to you. It is provided through existing cable TV network, and it is similar to DSL. It is similar to DSL, and it provides internet network to you via existing cable TV network or with their line which they draw. Next one is wireless technology. The first term which comes under wireless technology is 3G. 3G is a short form of third generation. It is a set of standard used for mobile devices and mobile telecommunication services and network. If the phone supports 3G, then the high speed internet connectivity can be accessed through its subscription. And in 3G, we will use high speed downlink packet access protocol that allow higher data transfer speed and capacity. It means the protocol which are used in 3G are having much more capacity and capability to transfer data at higher rates. The next one is WiMAX. WiMAX stands for Worldwide Interoperability for Microwave Access. It is a wireless communication standard designed to provide mobile broadband connectivity across cities and countries through variety of devices. It is a long range system. It is beneficial where there is difficulty in laying out cable and wire. It means at the places where there is difficulty to draw cable and wire, their WiMAX operate in a well mannered way. For example, it provide internet to you via microwave access. It also provide you broadband connectivity across cities and countries. It uses variety of devices such as router etc, so that you will get good network connectivity and good internet speed. The next one is Wi-Fi. It is a popular technology used to transfer data wirelessly over a network. Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity. The wireless network is formed through a device called wireless access point WAP. It is beneficial as there is no need of laying out wire for transferring data. With the help of Wi-Fi, you can transfer data without using any kind of wires, and the transmission speed of data is relatively high in case of Wi-Fi. Now our next term is how data transfers on the internet. So the data first broken into bits of small size pieces called packets. Then a header is attached to each packet explaining where the data has come from and where it should end up and where it fits in with the rest of the packet. Each packet is sent from the computer to computer until it finds its destination. All the packet may not take the same route. At the destination, the packets are examined. If any packets are missing or damaged, a message is sent asking for them to be resent. This continues until all the packets have been received intact. The packets are now reassembled into their original form, and all this done in second. You didn't even feel how this transfer takes place, and it takes a very little span of time to transfer data over the internet, but the process behind this transfer is very large. So I can explain you this data transfer on the internet. Once again, it is an important term or important concept of this chapter. First of all, the data is broken into bits of small size pieces called packets. Then a header is attached to each packet. Then the header containing the address from where it is received and from where it have to go. In the header file, we have put all the address. Then each packet is sent from computer to computer until it finds its destination. Then the packets are allowed to be sent over the network so that it will find its destination. And it might be possible that all the packets do not take the same route or same path. It is possible that each and every packet will go from some other path. Then at the destination, the packets are examined. First they are examined that any packet is missing or damaged. If any packet is missing or damaged, then the message is sent again asking for the packets again. Then this process continues till all the packet received are intact, means same identical as we have sent from the place. Then the packets are reassembled into the original form, and all this transfer takes a very little span of time, and all this thing is done within seconds. So students, this is the end of our second session. Please prepare notes of this session into your notebooks. We will continue more things in our next session. Thank you.